Yo, what's going on, yo? It's DFJ Hoops here. As always, I'm your host, Andre. A couple things that we got to react to: good news, bad news, the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to break everything down right here on DFJ Hoops. But as y'all come in, please make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, sub to the channel. And also, don't forget to hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss every time I go live or any videos that I release on this channel. Now, let's get right into this. So for starters, I'm gonna start with this one right here. So the 76ers, I think 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, they released the summer league roster for 2024. And among the names in here, I mean, there's a couple players that was on the team from last year, a couple guys that was in the NBA, a few noticeable names over here. So let me get into this comment right here. Tune in Sports says, L host. Bro, what you mean, bro? What you talking about? Yeah, but shout out to Tune in Sports, man. Cleveland Cavaliers content creator. Y'all can go sub to his channel, Tune in Sports One. He's very, he knows his stuff, very knowledgeable about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Y'all go sub to him. But yeah, let's get to this. So the 76ers released the 2024 Summer League roster, and a few players here were players that I noticed from last year with other teams, and a few guys were on the Sixers as well last season. So the first person was Jeff Dowtin Jr. So Jeff Dowtin Jr. was on the Sixers last season. I mean, they signed him mid-season to a standard contract. They converted his two-way to a standard contract because he was on the G League team. So he played good in the regular season, but he wasn't in the playoff rotation. So we didn't really see too much of him in the playoffs. But I think having these guys on the summer league team, I mean, you see whoever could earn their spot on the main roster, and then you can sign them from there. So Jeff Dowtin Jr. was on there. Ricky Council IV, who is a fan favorite. I mean, guys, players, I mean, fans really love Ricky Council IV. He plays with so much energy, with so much effort. He never cheats the game. He plays hard on both sides of the floor. Now, I got to see Ricky Council IV in person when we went to the G League game. I think in March. I was there with JJ, play by play with JJ. I can go sub to his channel. I was there with the RB, Philly Take with RB. I can go sub to his channel as well. And Sixers Digest, Sean Bernard. We was there, and I actually watched Ricky Council in person, Ricky Council the fourth in person, and I really love his game. But I mean, there's a few what you call it, there's a few weaknesses in his game that he needs to work on. His outside shooting is in question. His ability to make certain passes is in question. These are all aspects of his game that he needs to develop. Now he's only this is his second year in the NBA. He was undrafted last season, so he's still young, so he still has time to learn. And I think playing under Nick Nurse and under this coaching staff, he's definitely going to develop into a player that this Sixer team could definitely utilize in the very near future. So shout out to Ricky Council IV. Now another player on here is David Jones. There's Justin Edwards. Now Justin Edwards went undrafted this year. He's from the Philly area. He went undrafted this year in this year's draft. So hopefully he can make a name for himself, and hopefully he can play himself into the Sixers roster. But he's definitely going to have some G League duties this year. He's definitely, I think he's on a two-way contract, so he's going to be with the Delaware Bluecoats and with the 76ers. Now Justin Edwards, like any other player, I don't really focus on college basketball. I just once they get drafted to the Sixers, that's when I start watching them. So I watched a few clips on him, and I mean, I was impressed. I mean, he has a lot of upside, but we'll have to see it materialize in the NBA. So shout out to Justin Edwards. And Sixers 16th pick in this year's draft, Jared McCain. There's RJ Hampton. There's Kiva Luma, Darius Days, Adam Bonner, Tony Bradley, Romeo Langford, Justin Powell, Max Fielder, Judah Mintz, Jordan Tucker, and Jalen Sims. I think Jalen Sims is the brother of Jericho Sims. I may be wrong, but they have the same last name. But out of these names over here, I mean, there's a few players that I noticed from last year on other teams as well as the Sixers. A guy like RJ Hampton, I remember he played for the Miami Heat, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out Prophet One. He says Miles Bridges is much needed. I mean, I heard that Miles Bridges might get traded to the Clippers. I haven't really heard anything regarding the Sixers, but I mean, Miles Bridges is definitely. I mean, I'm really high. A lot of Charlotte Hornets players, I'm really high on them. Miles Bridges, even Cody Martin, who we're gonna get to his brother in a few minutes, but Cody Martin is also a player who I'm really high on because he's very versatile as well. So I mean, I wouldn't mind having Miles Bridges on this team. But shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you for being in here. Make sure you hit the like button for me, bro. Tune in Sports says, can you give your thoughts on McCain? Will he crack the rotation? Um, that's a very good question. Now, with the 76ers losing Buddy Hield in free agency, the Sixers keep losing players in free agency, but we keep signing players, so it's a win-win situation for us. But with us losing Buddy Hield, I mean, you definitely need shooters coming off the bench. So I could see him playing now, cracking the rotation like playoffs. I don't think so. He's not. He's too young, too frail, not strong enough, and not experienced enough. So I don't think he's going to crack the rotation for the playoffs. But in the regular season, yeah, I can see games where he's playing, getting some reps, getting minutes coming off the bench. I'm hearing some Sixer fans saying that he should start. No, no, he can't start on this team. And like I always say, and I keep the same energy all the time. I don't want midget backcourts. I don't want that. So Jared McCain, no, he's only 6'2". Tyrese Maxey, 6'2". I don't. Yeah, that's a midget backcourt. That's a defensive liability backcourt, and we can all ask Tune in Sports the challenges he sees with his team with their backcourt with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. Now, offensively, they're great, but defensively, they can get torched almost every single time. So, yeah, Tune Sports says Clippers are signing a lot of interesting players. No comments. Yeah, they signed Kevin Porter Jr., Derrick Jones Jr. Shout out to Derrick Jones. He's from Chester, PA. And they signed Mobamba and a few other players that I miss, Chris Dunn and a few others. So I think they try to build a defensive identity, especially with them getting what you call it, Van Gundy. Is it Jeff? Yeah, Jeff Van Gundy. So they're trying to build a defensive identity, which there's no issues with that. I don't have any issues with it. But as far as them being a contender, I don't really think so. I mean, James Harden has to be your second option. And when James Harden is your second option, we all know how that goes. He says Kai Jones is back, I heard. With the Sixers? I don't think so. I haven't heard anything. But he was let go by the Clippers. I don't know what team he's gonna sign with. Now, I mean, Kai Jones, I kept telling people like, yo, he's not gonna get any solid quality minutes on no contending team because he's missed a lot of time. And people thought I was lying. When you got to when you got to the Sixers at first, people were like, oh, let's give him some minutes. Like, yo, you haven't seen this guy play any significant minutes, so there's no way you're gonna throw him into the fire and tell him to, give you some quality production. That's not gonna happen. So, um, but yeah, let me not get off topic. But looking at this roster right here, I mean, yeah, like I said, RJ Hampton played for the Miami Heat. He's recognizable. I think Romeo Langford. I think I heard of it. I think he played for the Celtics, if I'm not mistaken, a couple years ago. But he's a noticeable name for another team. And Tony Bradley. Now, Tony Bradley was on the Sixer team 3 years ago. I think Joel Embiid's first MVP caliber season. He was on this team. He was a third string center. And I mean, he was solid, but the Sixers had Dwight Howard at the time, who was the backup center. So he didn't really get, he wasn't really in the rotations like that. But when Embiid went out with the COVID, I think he played a couple games. He started in a couple games. I think one of those games, Dwight Howard and Embiid were out, and he got, he was inserted into the starting lineup. And I mean, he was solid in my opinion. Now, he's not a he wasn't a great, backup center, but he was solid for, a third string center. He was solid for what he does. I mean, he's a solid rebounder, but offensively is where his challenges is. But now this year summer league, I don't know if Nick Nurse is going to be involved directly. Now he's definitely going to be somewhat involved in it. I mean, last season he was the head coach for the summer league team, but this year I don't know. It might be a little bit different. Maybe Bobby Jackson is going to take over. Bobby Jackson and Rico Hines are going to be the coaches for it. But I know for sure that Nick Nurse is going to be involved in it. So Hopefully he's definitely going to be scouting, looking at players who he thinks could fit this team. They might get signed to a standard contract. But yeah, good luck to these guys on this team right here. I mean, good luck to these guys on this team right here. I think Jared McCain might be the best player, but let's not count out Ricky Council the fourth. Let's not count out um, Jeff Doughton Jr., Adam Bonner, and Justin Edwards, who I'm very, very high on. So, shout out to these guys. Hopefully, they do their thing. Hopefully, they win the Summer League championship. I remember last season, Tuning Sports, his team won the Summer League championship, and he celebrated like it was the NBA championship because he knows for a fact that the Cavs are not going to win an NBA championship. So that was his NBA championship right there. So hopefully the Sixers, hopefully the Sixers could win the Summer League championship and we could take it off from there. So shout out to these guys. Hopefully something positive comes out of the Summer League team. Tunin Sports says he's back with the Clippers. I saw he's talking about Kai Jones, which if he's back with the Clippers, I mean, the Clippers have Zubac, who's a center, have Mo Bamba, who they just signed, and they have Kai Jones. And I think they have their rookie. I mean, he's not a rookie anymore. This player, is it Musa Diabate or something? I think that's his name. I mean, I don't know what the Clippers are doing, man, but hopefully everything works out good for them. Now, like I said, they're not a contender now. As a 5th or 6th seed, yeah, they could definitely be that, or maybe possibly be in the play-in. But yeah. Do you know what's left for us to spend? I haven't taken a look at it yet, but I think we have two more roster spots left, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but yeah, I definitely have to check it. But they have to update it because it's not updated right now. Now, with the addition of Caleb Martin and with us cutting or waiving Paul Reed, who I'm gonna get to in a few minutes here, I don't know what the salary cap is looking like right now, so I'm gonna have to take a look at it. Kyle Lowry can be a player coach, or a coach for this Sixer team. I mean, I wouldn't mind Kyle Lowry on this team because you're like I always say, you're not going to sign him to a max. You're only going to give him a vet minimum, and I think we only have Eric Gordon on the vet minimum right now. So, I mean, signing Kyle Lowry, that wouldn't really hurt the Sixers in terms of the cap space because he's only signing the vet minimum. But yeah, I wouldn't mind Kyle Lowry coming back. Definitely. Yeah, I think the Sixers have 2 roster spots left, so we'll see how they fill that up. We got DJ Burns and Imani Bates. Good, bro. Stop it to this point. Stop it, bro. Stop it. Now, DJ Burns, no disrespect to him. Like I said, when you posted that video, I said he's very, very underrated. And Imani Bates, who I think could definitely start. I mean, not start, but he could definitely get some rotation minutes in the NBA. He's very solid. I'm very, very high on him. Hopefully, he's better defensively than he was last season. And I think y'all got Evan Mobley's brother, right? Is it Isaiah Mobley? Yeah, I think it's Isaiah Mobley. So hopefully y'all go back to back. I mean, I'm wishing y'all good luck, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's the Summer League roster. We reacted to it. Hopefully the Sixers can win it. I'm rooting for those guys. Hopefully those guys can do something positive or something that could be remembered. Now that's that. Now let's head into the next segment. So I have good news and bad news, but I'm gonna start with the bad news. I don't want to start with the good news. So the Sixers will be waiving backup center and fan favorite Paul Reed. Now, Paul Reed has been with the Sixers since 2020. Yeah, 2020. He was drafted in the same draft that Maxey was drafted in. They both came out the same class. He was the 58th pick for the Sixers. The Sixers took him with the 58th pick. And Paul Reed, I mean, his whole mentality is, get it out the mud. Out the mud. That's his catchphrase. Everything he does, he gets it out the mud. There's nothing. Everything that he has was not given to him. He had to earn everything that he has right now. He had to earn his spot in the NBA, his contracts. He had to earn everything. And when he first got drafted, he was assigned to the G League. He had to earn his NBA career. I mean, not NBA career, but he had to earn his way to the NBA. He had to prove himself in the G League, which I mean, almost every what you call it, every second round pick, you have to earn your way in the second round. I mean, not in the second round. I mean, you have to earn your way in the G League. I mean, Imani Bates, as I mentioned, for the Cleveland Cavaliers, who I think could definitely play in the NBA. He had to earn his playing time in the G League. He had to go to the G League and prove himself. And the same thing with Paul Reed, B-ball Paul. He had to earn his way in the G League. Now, when he went to the G League, he was the G League MVP. He made the G League first team, and I think he was G League first team all defense or something like that. So he absolutely proved himself. He earned himself. He earned his way to the NBA. Now, last offseason, he signed an offer sheet with the Utah Jazz, which it was tricky because I thought they were gonna let him go, but the Sixers matched the offer sheet and they brought him back, and it was a 3 year, 25 or 26, something like that. But the first year was guaranteed, but the second and the third year was not guaranteed. The only way those years would be guaranteed was if the Sixers make it out of the first round in the playoffs that just passed, the 2024 playoffs. Now, in the playoffs, now obviously the Sixers lost to the New York Knicks in the first round in 6 games. And before the series started, Paul Reed was, he was running his mouth on the podcast saying that, yeah, we really wanted the New York Knicks because they're the easiest matchup. And I was saying to myself, I mean, okay, you're talking this talk. You better back it up on the floor. We better see it in the playoffs. And he went into the playoffs and he, in my opinion, he underperformed in the playoffs. He didn't really help us that much in the playoffs, and the Sixers, as a result, got eliminated. Now, I'm not saying it was his fault that the Sixers got eliminated, but I mean, he was a part of it. Every time Embiid went off the floor, that's when the Knicks went on their run, and Embiid had to be sub back in and try to make a run to get the lead back, and it was just a back and forth thing, and the Sixers ended up losing. And as of currently, the Sixers will be waiving Paul Reed from the roster. So I think he might end up going to the Spurs. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that he might end up on the Spurs. Now, some of my predictions have been wrong. I did say that I have a feeling that Buddy Hield is gonna end up signing with the Lakers, but he went to the Golden State Warriors. So I was wrong there. Now I'm not scared to be wrong, but I just have a feeling that Paul Reed might go to the Spurs. He might sign with the Spurs probably on a veteran minimum contract because I don't think at this point I don't think any team is going to sign him to a major contract. But that's the NBA, man. If you're a second rounder, you always have to prove yourself, and sometimes your spot is not guaranteed. But um, yeah, shout out to Paul Reed. He was a fan favorite. Now, me personally, I think if we had a facilitating point guard, we probably would have got the best out of him because Tyrese Maxey's not a facilitating point guard. He's a scoring point guard. So Maxey's always trying to look to score. He's not looking to facilitate. But if he's playing, I mean Paul Reed, if he's playing with the Mike Conley, if he's playing with the Chris Paul, if he's playing with anybody who's a facilitating point guard, you're definitely going to see the best out of him because he's a rim runner. He's always in the dunker spot. Getting offensive rebounds. Even though he's undersized, he gives it his all. Sometimes it's just sometimes the odds is just not in his favor. Now he's had some of his best moments with the 76ers against the Denver Nuggets, the same game that people accused Joel Embiid of quitting. He was inserted as the starter, and he gave Nikola Jokic the business. He gave him the business, and I think he dropped 30 and 13 on the reigning MVP. And Jokic congratulated him after the game, even though the Sixers lost. But it was just a great all-around game for Paul Reed. So he's had some of his best moments, had some of his terrible moments with the Sixers. But I wish him the best in his future endeavors, wherever he goes, whatever team he goes to play for. I just wish him the best. Let me look at these comments right here. Tuna Sports says, "Yeah, Isaiah, but he's not playing. Why he not playing? He not a. I mean, I think he's not a second year player because I think the summer league is for the first and second year players. So I mean, he's probably in his third season. I don't know, but nonetheless, the Cavs ain't doing nothing, bro. Salute to Paul Reed. Yeah, Paul Reed. Yeah, should we pick him up? I mean, yeah, he'll definitely. If y'all pick him up, he definitely gonna take Jared Allen's spot for sure. I know that for a fact. So I don't know if the Cavs should pick him up, but I mean, y'all got Jared Allen, DJ Burns, and all these other guys. I don't think he's gonna. Nah. Let him go to the Spurs, bro, or let him go to any team that has a facilitating point guard. We can sign Reed off waivers, right? Yeah, we still can, but how many times do we really see that? I don't really. There's not too many times that I've seen it, or I don't even remember a time where a team did that. But I mean, yeah, we could definitely sign him off waivers. That is, if he wants to come back. But if I'm Paul Reed, I'm not coming back. I'll go somewhere else because you're going to be in the same situation because we now have Andre Drummond. So that means that Paul Reed is going to be the third string center. Now, we want to play him at the power forward position. That's cool, right? Because we don't have a backup power forward. But it's just a tricky situation at this point. But we definitely can. And I mean, I would have wanted him at the power forward position because I think that's his actual position. He's supposed to be a power forward and not a center. But with his inability to shoot, I mean, he's not. I mean, he shoots the three sometimes, but he's not really consistent enough from the three, so he's not really a threat. Now his his shooting form is a different conversation. His shot release is a different conversation, but his inability to not shoot the basketball is the reason why he is playing at the center position. If he had a decent 3-point shot, he could definitely play a power forward position, and he definitely would have been a threat. And the Sixers wouldn't probably release him or waive him. But yeah, Tuna Sports says Sixers got chopped. Bro, you got jokes, huh? Oh, Charles Bassey's is in San Antonio. I didn't know that. Yeah, the Sixers, man. The Sixers had certain players, man, but Charles Bassey was solid, but yeah, the Sixers let him go, and Doc Rivers wasn't playing him. You was wrong about the Suns and the Clippers too, DFJ. Yeah, I was wrong. Yeah, I was wrong. And like I said, bro, I'm not scared to be wrong. I'm not scared to be wrong. But you see other guys when they're wrong, they move the goalposts and they go on to make a much more worse take than they made before. Now, somebody who I'm not gonna say his name, but you know him, and you know who I'm talking about, Tuna Sports. He says you need somebody like Darius Garland who can unlock that for you. Now, I mean that is true. That's true. I'm not even going to argue that, but I just don't want him in Cleveland. I just don't want him in Cleveland. Shout out to Just Win Baby Podcast. Shout out to Tuna Sport. Shout out to Just Win Baby Podcast. T Sweezy, my fault, bro. He says good pickup off the bench. Who playing power forward? Yeah, there. As of right now, we don't really have a power forward off the bench. That's why I was saying that I would have wanted him to stay because he could have been the power forward off the bench. But the Sixers still have roster spots open, so they'll probably address that in the very near future. So Prophet One says great point. About the Paul Reed thing. Yeah, I think he definitely has to play. He definitely has to play with the facilitating point guard. I mean, when he played with Harden, we saw how good he was in the playoffs in that game 4 against the Brooklyn Nets. He finished with a double-double. And in my opinion, I think he outplayed Nick Claxton. And then against Boston in game 1, he had a double-double as well. Now, it was 11 points, 10 rebounds, but you saw him give everything he had. And when you play with someone like James Harden, we all know James Harden brings the best out of big men. I mean, we can go back to Clint Capella. We can go back to, Clint Capella, Dwight Howard, Paul Reed, and even if it's a Zubac, I think Zubac had his career season. And Darilis is in the chat. Darilis is in the chat. He's in the chat. Shout out to Darilis. He's a Clipper fan. He saw how good and effective Zubac was playing with a facilitating point guard. And I think Zubac, I've said this multiple times, I think he could average 17 points and 12 rebounds if he's featured in the offense very often. And playing with Harden, we saw the best out of Ivica Zubac. So yeah, if Paul Reed is playing with a facilitating point guard, you definitely see how good he can definitely be. Nobody want to go to the Lakers, which is true. Nobody wants to sign for them because nobody wants to be the scapegoat. Shout out to Derillas. Appreciate you for stopping by, bro. He says, salute Andre. I need to hear how Big Tone feel about this pickup. Yeah, I told Big Tone, I was on his show, I think 4 days ago, and I told him, man, like, yo, these Miami Heat players, they tired of wearing wigs and high heels. I told him that. They tired of wearing wigs and high heels. So the moment they get to leave, they're definitely gonna leave. They're not gonna sign for the Heat. So yeah, he thought I was lying, but yeah. He over there for the Bahamas, I think, for basketball. Who you talking about? Isaiah Mobley? I mean, he trash anyway, bro. Miami lose players every offseason, which it's true. And bro, I was gonna talk about that, but since you brought it up, let's just get into it. So yeah, shout out to Paul Reed. I wish him nothing but the best on his future endeavors. Now, the good news is the Sixers signed a high quality player, high quality role player, and an impactful player this offseason. And that player is Caleb Martin, who was the former Miami Heat. I think he was a wing player for the Miami Heat, but he sometimes played the power forward position for them. Now, Caleb Martin, I once called him a scrub. Now I have to apologize because he's on the Sixer team, so I can't disrespect players of the Sixers. So yeah, I apologize, Caleb, but Caleb Martin is a player who could definitely impact the 76ers in a very, very positive way. His versatility, his ability to play defense, and he has a tendency to rise in the playoffs. Now, I was hearing people call him a playoff riser, which in certain levels it is true. He rises up in the playoffs. Now, he doesn't rise up to the level of a Jimmy Butler or to the level of a Kawhi Leonard. I mean, those guys are, or Jamal Murray. Those guys are on another level in the playoffs. But Caleb Martin, as a role player, he rises to the occasion in certain games. And in certain games where you don't expect him to go off, that's when he goes off and he starts taking advantage of defenses. Especially, we saw that in the Eastern Conference Finals in Game 7 against the Boston Celtics. Now, as a Sixer fan, I think we need to start calling them the Boston Strangler. Now, I know the Boston Strangler is Andrew Toney, who played for the Sixers in the 80s. Now, he got that nickname because he used to torch Boston all the time. So I think we should definitely call Caleb Martin the Boston Strangler, because Caleb Martin also torches the Boston Celtics almost every single time he plays them. Now, this year's playoffs, it was something different because they had a lot of players missing. Jimmy Butler was missing. Terry Rozier was missing. I mean, they were not missing, but they were out because of injuries. They had a lot of players out. Jaime Jaquez missed some games. Josh Richardson missed some games. So they had a lot of players missing. So we didn't really see him go off like that. But in game 2, he definitely showed out for them. I think he dropped 25 points against them. So we've seen games where he goes off in the playoffs. And just like I said, in game 7 against the Boston Celtics 2023, he completely destroyed them. Their front court, their back court, they couldn't do anything with him. And he was making some tough shots, some fadeaway shots, those tough turnaround fadeaway shots. And I was even saying to myself, I didn't know he could do that. But he showed that in certain moments in the playoffs, he could definitely rise to the occasion. And I think that's the caliber of players that this 76er team really needs. And this Sixer team has really lacked, some high quality wing players throughout the process. I mean, after Jimmy Butler was gone, what other wing players did we have that were very, very impactful? Now, this year we have Paul George, obviously. We have Kelly Oubre, we have Ricky Council. So add in adding another wing player, and Caleb Martin is a very, very huge addition to the Sixer team. And like I said on my live on Wednesday night, Caleb Martin playing for the Miami Heat, he's definitely going to fit with the 76ers because Eric Spoelstra and Nick Nurse, their defensive philosophies, there's a lot of similarities within the defensive philosophies. Now, obviously, Nick Nurse doesn't run a lot of zones like Spo, but in terms of our ball defense, I mean our ball screen defenses and our off ball rotations, I mean we X out, they X out, we sink and fill, they sink and fill. So that's just a few similarities that you can see within the Miami Heat's defense and the 76ers defense. But this is just the caliber of player that Nick Nurse really wants because he wants those versatile players that can do almost everything on the floor: ball handle, score, play defense, rebound the basketball, and do everything necessary to help a team win. So, shout out to Caleb Martin. I approve of this move, and it was definitely a huge loss for the Miami Heat, and it was a win for the 76ers. And Miami always losing players in free agency, and I don't know why. I mean, back in 2022, they lost PJ Tucker. Now, PJ Tucker was older at the time, right? I mean, he's still older, but PJ Tucker was a huge addition to what they were doing when they made that run to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2022. Now, they came up short to the Boston Celtics off a last shot. If Jimmy Butler had made that shot, they probably go to the finals that year. But PJ Tucker was a huge addition to what they were doing with his outside shooting, his ability to play defense. Now he's older, so you don't really see his tenacity on the defensive end. But back in 2022, he was very good defensively. He could move. He was light on his feet. He could play defense, and he was a huge part of what the Miami Heat was doing. But they lost him, and they didn't really get better that offseason. And then last offseason, they lost. I was about to say Caleb Martin, but last offseason, they lost Max Strus to the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I mean, it was a sign and trade, so they were able to get something back after losing Max Strus. But they also lost Gabe Vincent to the Los Angeles Lakers. And this year, they've lost Caleb Martin. And I think they're definitely going to lose. They're definitely going to lose Haywood Highsmith as well. I think a team could definitely sign Haywood Highsmith. I could see him going to a team like the Milwaukee Bucks. I could see Haywood Highsmith signing with the Milwaukee Bucks. But yeah, it's a huge loss for the Miami Heat. I mean, they continue to wear wigs and high heels and think they're going to get to the finals, but it's not going to happen anymore. The Eastern Conference is catching up to the Miami Heat, and they're not going to be running those illegal defenses to carry them to the finals again. I think teams have caught up to it. Teams know that they run a lot of zone defenses, 2-3 zone, 1-3-1 zone. They overload the strong side. I mean, we all know that. If I know it, head coaches in the NBA should know it. So Miami, it's over for y'all. Just blow it up at this point and trade Jimmy Butler, trade Bam Adebayo, and trade all those guys and go into rebuild mode. Derilla says, "Why you taking shots?" I mean, I'm not taking shots. I mean, it's facts. Miami keeps losing players in free agency now. I mean, they believe in their Heat culture. They believe they can make another Caleb Martin. They believe they can make another Gabe Vincent, which I mean, that's cool. But if you keep losing these players and you're not really getting better, it's just you're just at a disadvantage at that point. Hey, to this point, you funny as hell, bro. Prophet One says to you, do we outmatch the New York Knickerbockers now? I mean, I believe. I mean, even without Caleb Martin, I believe we were better than the New York Knicks. Now Thomas believes otherwise. Thomas thinks otherwise, and we got into a heated argument on Wednesday night about the Knicks and the Sixers. But I mean, Thomas. I mean, his arguments is just. I mean, it's easy to counter. I mean, you just have to, just flip his own logic against him, and then it's just that. But I mean, I eat the Thomas almost all the time. He's easy work, bro. My Sixers make him. Yeah, bro. Welcome to the family, bro. Welcome to the family. I'm glad you're leaving the Clippers and you're coming to the Philadelphia 76ers. So welcome, bro. we definitely appreciate you leaving the Clippers. I mean, bro, you from Bmore, so I mean, the Sixers is just like right next to y'all. I mean, two hours away from y'all. So I mean, we definitely appreciate you for joining the Sixers family. I mean, we about to win the championship. Shout out to Pagan 180. He says salute everyone, salute Andre. I mean Bubba. Salute to you, Pagan. I appreciate you for being in here. Yeah, as y'all come in, please hit the like button for me, man. Please hit the like button for me. Um, Pagan says Miami Heat illegal defense is nasty work, bro. It's illegal defense. Like let's be honest, bro. That defense they play, you couldn't play that defense in the '90s, right? You couldn't play that defense in the '90s. You would be called for illegal defense every single time. And that zone defense, I don't know how they're able to beat teams. I mean, their offense is also a part of it, but their defense was also a part of it. And that that zone defense, it's a 2-3 zone defense, or sometimes they disguise it into a 1-3-1 to kind of like catch you off guard. But I mean, they overload the strong side with intense ball pressure. And I always say this, that in order to beat that zone defense, you need at least you need three things. You need a good passer, you need you need a hold on. You need a good passer, you need backdoor cutters, and you need 3-point shooters. And that was what the Denver Nuggets they have a good passer and Nikola Jokic. They have shooters all around the floor, and Murray, MPJ, KCP, and they have backdoor cutters like Aaron Gordon. And that was how they were able to beat the Miami Heat. It was just easy work. It was just easy for them. So now teams know their defensive coverages. I don't think Miami is going to beat anybody again in the playoffs. And Big Tone, I'm going to definitely bet you if we play on the playoffs, y'all not beating us again. Y'all beat us in 2022, which, I mean, Embiid was hurt. But, I mean, no excuses. We lost. But excuse me, it's not going to happen again. It's not going to happen again. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're welcome, bro. You're welcome, bro. I mean, you're part of the Sixer family now. So, you ditched the Clippers, back on the Sixers. Yeah, let's go, bro. Derilla says, "Wow, yeah, Zay, yeah, he not a Clipper fan no more. He been a Clipper fan for almost like what 10, 12 years, but he realized that the Clippers not going anywhere. So yeah, he says, Zay, we Clippers for life, bro." But yeah, let me get into this last thing, and I don't know, I could drop the link, but I mean, I ain't gonna be hurt. I ain't gonna be on here too long, so. But says ain't no damn for life. But yeah, so Caleb Martin coming to the Sixers. I'm hearing that he might play the power forward position, which that's something that I'm not really high on, because I really wanted somebody that's more athletic, that's more longer, pause. I mean more taller, because Caleb Martin is only 6'5", and our front court is not. I want some athleticism in the front court. So we have Paul George, who's going to play the small forward position, and Bede is obviously he's the center. So putting Caleb Martin in there. Now, I mean, we've seen throughout the NBA, we got guys playing the power forward position who are significantly undersized. I mean, we saw Josh Hart in the playoffs playing the power forward position, and he's only 6'4". But Josh Hart was making up for it because he's a ferocious rebounder. I mean, at the guard position. I mean, how many guard rebounders are better than Josh Hart? I'll only put Russell Westbrook and Luka Doncic over him, and maybe a Jalen Brown, but that's a maybe. But Josh Hart he's definitely out there as one of the best rebounding guards in the league. But Caleb Martin is not, he's not a very great rebounder. He's more, perimeter defense. He's more of a ball handler, and he's more of a scorer. I don't see him as a rebounder. But if he's playing the power forward position, I'm gonna definitely have to agree with it. But me personally, I'm not really sold on it. Now, I would want him at the shooting guard position, at the small forward position, because I think those are the two positions that he plays his best at. I don't think he's good as a power forward, in my opinion. Is there? Yeah. We definitely need rebounding still. I mean, in the front court, at the front court. That's why I'm not so high on Caleb Martin playing the power forward position. But I mean, we've seen little guy, little guys. We've seen guys that are significantly undersized play the power forward. I mean, 2 seasons ago we had PJ Tucker playing the power forward position, and I mean, you go to other teams, you see guys 6'4", 6'5", playing power forward position. So, I don't think it's not it's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing either. But I mean, if we have to go up against a Milwaukee Bucks team that has Giannis, we're definitely going to be at a disadvantage because Caleb Martin is, he's definitely going to be at a disadvantage because he's undersized. He's not doesn't have the size, doesn't have the athleticism to keep up with Giannis, especially in an open court in transition. In transition, nobody can guard Giannis. I mean, that's a fact, but you definitely need somebody who can slow him down. So if we have to go up against the Milwaukee Bucks, we definitely need to get another guy who can, try to contain Giannis because I don't think Caleb Martin could, I don't think he could do that. Prophet One says some fans have a problem with Miles Bridges, like they're a moral police. When Mitch K, when Mitch K and Michael Jordan re-signed him. Wait, let me read this again. Some fans have a problem with Miles Bridges, like they're a moral police. When Mitch K and Michael Jordan signed him. Are you talking about Sixers fans or Charlotte Hornets fans? Because keep in mind, Miles Bridges had that off court situation. I mean, with his, I don't even want to talk about it, but so that's why they kind of had an issue with that. But I mean, me personally, I don't really care. Not that I don't care, but I I focus more on the basketball part of it. I focus more of what you do on the floor more than what you do off the floor. Now, I don't condone what he did, but as a basketball player, he's definitely if you have him on a contending team, he can definitely give you some quality production. Now, yeah, like I said, I keep hearing that he might go to the Clippers, which I don't know. I mean, Derillis and Pagan, they can talk more about that, but I wouldn't mind him on the Sixers team. On this Sixers team, I wouldn't mind because he's athletic. He's a scorer. He plays with so much energy. He never plays lazy. So yeah, I'll definitely take him. Pause if necessary. Pagan 180 says a 6'4" power forward isn't the norm, Andre. Even in today's basketball, Martin is a great pickup, solid utility player. He defends well. He's a good player. Yeah, I agree. Now I was just saying that Josh Hart was playing the power forward position. So I mean, Caleb Martin, 6'5", playing the power forward position. That's not. It's not crazy. But me personally, I wouldn't want that. I want more length at the front court position. I want more athleticism at the front court position. And I said this before. I'll say it again. I think at the power forward position, we need an athletic, versatile player. Like a Aaron Gordon. That's what we need at the power forward position. Salute to Brian Pumper. Appreciate you for being in here. He says, "Damn, how many niggas trying to downplay Caleb Martin? Niggas looking very jealous on these YouTube streets." I mean, I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. I mean, I on my live on Wednesday night, I definitely said I wanted Caleb Martin on this team because he definitely brings something that the Sixers team lacks. Versatility, defense, scoring. I mean, he's been on the Miami Heat team that's made, multiple playoff runs, deep postseason runs. So he has that experience in terms of, making a deep postseason run as a role player, not as the man. I mean, we're not saying that he's coming to this team to be the man, but yeah, I'm not one of them, bro. I'm definitely not one of them. Oh, you're saying, oh, okay, I get what you mean, Prophet. I mean, but some of these guys, they don't really, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. Caleb Martin is closer to 6'6". Oh, okay. I thought he was 6'5". I mean, he's listed at 6'5". That's why I said 6'5". But yeah, Yeah, Pagan. They wildin'. They definitely wildin'. But yeah, he hustles. Right, he hustles. Like he's like everything this Sixer team needs. That's what he provides. Like Pagan said, he's a special utility player. So I definitely approve of this. And I'll say it again, it's a loss for the Miami Heat or the Miami Cheat, like I call them. Big Tone. If you want to pull up, you can pull up. These guys are tired of wearing wigs and high heels, like I told you before. They tired of wearing wigs and high heels. They want to go to a team that they could win at, or a team that they can win with, and a team that's going to have a positive winning culture. Miami don't have a. Nah, I'm gonna walk that back. Now I'm gonna walk that back. Miami definitely has a winning culture, but these guys are tired, man. They're tired of wearing wigs and high heels, and so yeah. I used to call Buddy Rico Suave. Yeah, I mean Caleb is definitely going to be a fan favorite with the 76ers because players are going to love how tough he plays on both sides of the floor. I mean, Caleb is a dog. Like, no, don't get it wrong. He's a dog. Hard nosed defender, tough player. You're not gonna just, you're not just gonna walk. Now that he's with the Sixers, you're not just gonna walk over here and do anything. I mean, we have some rough riders on this team, which is something that this Sixer team was lacking in the previous years. But having Caleb Martin, having Kelly Oubre, I mean, even Andre Drummond, you can include him. This Sixers team is not a team that you can punk. You can't punk this Sixer team. So, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The Heat might officially be a wrap now. I mean, but I mean, they still believe that they have a chance to win. With Jimmy Butler and with Bam Adebayo, they still think they can win. And they haven't really made any significant moves this offseason. I think they signed Alec Burks and they re-signed Thomas Bryant. That's about it. But yeah, it's over for them. I mean, me personally, I would say they should, just gut it and go ahead and rebuild. That's the best. That would be the best scenario for them. Yeah, they're done for good. That window might be closed for now for the Heat officially. Yeah. Yeah, it's over with. It is over with. The Eastern Conference teams in the Eastern Conference have caught up, and you're not, like I said, you're not just gonna run any fake illegal defense and expect to go to the NBA Finals and win a championship. No. I mean, even though I call it illegal, it's not illegal because you can play zone defense. You can run zone coverages in today's NBA, but in the 90s you couldn't run zone coverages, and they call that type of defense illegal defense. That's why I'm saying they run illegal defense. But in today's game, it's absolutely legal. Like my Clippers. I mean, the Clippers are not done. I mean, you still have Kawhi Leonard. I mean, yeah, you still have Kawhi, James Harden, Russell Westbrook. So I mean, yeah. What's up, DFJ? What up, Cottage? Appreciate you for stopping by, bro. Appreciate you. But yeah, that's all I have. That's all I got. I mean, Sixers signed a quality role player, a high utility guy, to a 4-year deal worth 32 million. So yeah, Daryl Morey keeps making moves. He continues to make moves. Whoa, hold on. Prophet One says, "Do our drafted or undrafted players make an impact, and who?" I think Ricky Council can definitely make an impact. But even though he has a few weaknesses in his game, I mean, he was a rookie last year. So, but I think if you have him on the rotation or in the rotations next season, he can definitely make an impact. Ricky Council can definitely make an impact. But our drafted players, no one. I don't believe in Jared McCain. I think he's a clown, but it is what it is. Bruce says, Bruce, oh my God. So now Caleb Martin is a Hall of Famer now. That's what you're trying to say, Bruce? Come on, Bruce. You can't be serious. But yeah, shout out to Bruce, man. Appreciate you for stopping by. Get Santi Aldama from the Grizzlies Small contract, poor man, Laurie. I mean, you know what? I really, I really wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that, but I mean, we need that. I mean, I think we need athleticism at the front court position. And I mean, Aldama is not super athletic. I mean, he's not a guy who can get it out the mud and get you 20 rebounds or get you 15 between 15 and 18 rebounds because that's something that we definitely need at the front court. Now, off the bench, we have that in Andre Drummond, but not in the starting lineup. Yeah, what's good, Bruce? What's good, Bruce? Appreciate you for being over here. Uh, Pagan 180 says, "Thanks for the false confidence, Andre. I appreciate it. Go Clips." No, it's not false confidence. I mean, the Clippers are definitely. I mean, obviously, they're teams that's better. I mean, I think the Thunder are better. The wow, not bro. Apart from the Thunder, what other team is better than the Clippers? So Thunder, maybe somebody might say the Sacramento Kings, but yeah, what other team is better than the Clippers? Oh, I'm forgetting some teams. Am I forgetting some teams? Because Denver is not better than the Clippers right now. The Lakers are not. The Lakers is not better. Golden State is not better. But maybe I'm forgetting some. I mean, okay, Dallas is better. I'll put Dallas over the Clippers right now. So Dallas, OKC, Minnesota, definitely Minnesota. Um, yeah, that's. I mean, we'll have to see, but I mean, I just don't believe that the Clippers are a terrible team, but I can see the Clippers definitely being in the four, like between 4 and 6, next year. 2024, Andrew Toney, the Boston Strength. Yeah, exactly, Gracie. This is my first time seeing you here. I appreciate you for being on. Yeah, he's the 2024 Boston Strangler. And Bruce, you definitely know Andrew Toney because you are familiar with the 83 76er team. And Andrew Toney used to demolish the Boston Celtics. So I think Caleb Martin is a low budget version of the Boston Strangler because Caleb Martin also destroys the Boston Celtics almost every time he plays them. Um, Cottage says Daryl Morey seems like he understands what he's doing. I'll definitely say that, but I'm not gonna give him credit now because I want him to see. I just want to see him make more moves before, like he should complete the job. He should get the job done before I give him credit. I mean, I'm not going to give you credit for a half-ass job. So, yeah, that's it. Yeah, Gracie says facts. We need a Dennis Rodman type at the power forward position. Oh, you believe so? Because I was saying that we need somebody that's much bigger, much lengthier, and somebody that's super athletic at the power forward position. But I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I'm not mad at the Caleb Martin playing power forward. I thought he was better as a small forward. But yeah, I'm not. I don't mind it. Do you think Paul George can help this team win the championship? Absolutely. And we're not saying that Paul George has to be a first option or he should average 30. No, we're not saying that. All we need Paul George to do is be a better version of Tobias Harris. That's all we need from him. No, I don't think Denver's better than the Clippers. There's no way Denver's better than the Clippers. No way. Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. I never saw Andrew Toney. I am old, but not that old. Come on, Bruce. You was okay, but Bruce, you was the same person telling me that 83 Sixers team was a super team. But now you never saw him. Come on. Yeah. Sixers have no excuses. They have the players that will help you. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's no excuses. And we can definitively say that this is the best Sixer team in the process era. Now I know people are going to say the 2019 team was better than this one right here, which I mean I'm not going to argue, but I just think this team right here we have depth, we have players that have the experience, and that 2019 That 2019 team didn't have that. There was nobody on that 2019 Sixer team that was experienced. Jimmy Butler at that time had never been out the second round. Embiid obviously never got out the second round. Embiid, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, they haven't been out the second round. JJ Redick never been out the second round. Nah, JJ Redick did with the Orlando Magic. But I mean, he was a role player. He wasn't, he wasn't one of the best players on the team. But yeah, I definitely like this team right here. How much help does Philly need? Y'all signing everyone. Bro, that's not true. We still have 2 roster spots open, so we're gonna continue to sign more players. Yeah, Bruce is funny. Yeah, dog. I think the 76ers can win with Paul George. Yeah, like I said, he just has to be a better version of Tobias Harris. That's all we need from him. I watch clips, Gracie, but I never saw most of the 80s teams live. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying, Bruce. But I mean, you called that Sixers team a super team. That's why I was, saying that you watched them. So that's why you said that the 80s Lakers was not a dynasty. You need to walk that back, Bruce. You got to walk it back. That 80s Lakers team was a super team. 76ers lost to the Hawks in 2021. Yeah, we did. I mean, that was not I don't think that was the best Sixers team either. Even though the Sixers was the first seed in the Eastern Conference that year, I don't think that was the best Sixers team. And yeah, they definitely I'm not gonna say they choked, but this guy right here decided to forget how to shoot a free throw. He shot 30% from the free throw line. And yeah, we lost to the Hawks. We had no business losing to the Hawks that year. But yeah. Let me get through a few of these comments and yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here. Tuna Sports says, my bad, autocorrect. How much help does Embiid need? I mean, so now role players is being considered help now. Finney Smith will help at TuneIn. So yeah, Profit One. I did some research, and if we sign for I was about to say we signed TuneIn Sports. If we trade for Dorian Finney-Smith, the Sixers might get closer to that second apron, which I did a few research, and if you go over the second apron, there's there's some restrictions and certain things that you can't be doing, which at this point that makes me understand why the Clippers made Paul George walk out the front door, because they didn't want to go over the second apron. One pick away, grab Morris and Lowry back if push comes to shove. I mean, I don't really want Marcus Morris on this team because, I mean, he's from Philly, from North Philly, brethren, but I just don't. Yeah, we can definitely get a much better player. I wouldn't be surprised, says Tuna Sports. A dynasty for me is winning 3 in a row. So Bruce, if you say that, then that means there's only been 3 dynasties in NBA history: the Boston Celtics in the in the 60s, the Chicago Bulls in the 90s, and the Lakers in the 2000s. But I mean, the reason why I'm saying that Lakers team was a dynasty because they only missed the finals only like 2 times, in 1981 and in 1986. That's the only times they were not in the finals. They were in the finals in 1980, 82, 83, 84, 85, 87, 88, and 89. And I mean, if you're making these deep postseason runs and you're getting to the finals, that's definitely that's features of a dynasty or a dynastic team, should I say. Rumor has it that they're still trying to get Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean, if they get him, cool, no problem. But I mean, if you trade for him, you inch closer and closer to getting over the second apron. So that's what I'm trying to say. Tuna Sports says hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button, y'all. Smash that like button for me. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel as well. This is a 76ers channel. I mean, even though we cover almost every team, but yeah. Embiid needs a lot of help, apparently. Does that guy even have a knee left? Bro, y'all funny, man. Y'all funny. Y'all funny. But I mean, Pagan, you a Clipper fan. I mean, you're a Kawhi fan. Kawhi had a lot of help. That 2019, the Raptors team, that's a lot of help. So yeah. Ben Simmons forgot how to shoot that year in 2021. Yeah. Ben Simmons really hurt us more than he helped us. And I'm hearing rumors that the Sixers should trade for Ben Simmons. You trade for him, and I leave this. I stopped becoming a fan once we trade for him. I ain't gonna be no fan no more. Wow, Ben Simmons is the only one to blame for losing to the Hawks. I'm not saying that, but he contributed. Embiid has to blame. Doc Rivers is to blame. All these guys have to blame. I mean, I can blame Doc Rivers putting Seth Curry on this guy, Kevin Huerter, and Kevin Huerter completely torched him the entire game. And Kevin Huerter, up until that point, he was struggling in the series. But he gets to game 7. He gets a mismatch and he attacks that mismatch. Embiid had, 8 turnovers in game 7. That's atrocious. Ben Simmons passed a wide open dunk. That's atrocious. And he didn't even want to attempt a shot in the fourth quarter. But yeah, it's a lot of comments, man. I can't. Man, let me try to get through it. Cottage says, yeah, I'll say that, Bruce. Yeah, y'all need Marcus Morris to sabotage your squad in 2025. Nah, yeah, that's what. Yeah, we don't need Marcus Morris Sr., bro. We don't need him. You don't have to win 3 in a row, but you have to win. Yeah, and the Lakers in the 80s, they won. They won 5 championships, and they were in the finals 8 times. Was it 8? Yeah, 7, 8 times. I mean, they only missed the finals 2 years. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Western Conference in the 80s was trash. I mean, I'll say that. The Western Conference was trash. Don't get me wrong. Hit the like button. Yeah. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. Marcus. So 1 game. That's the standard now. 1 game. Giving the NBA champs 25 in the playoffs. That's it. I mean, what you call it? Andrew Nembhard was going off on the Celtics. So it's not surprising if Marcus Morris goes off on the Boston Celtics, bro. Doc Rivers was fired in 2023. Nah, we fired him in 2022. Oh yeah, 2023. My fault. Exactly. Marcus Morris is only 34. Yeah, I know I was cooking, bro. I know I'm cooking. Ben tried to fake a COVID exposure to miss a playoff game. Nasty. Yeah. But Bruce, that's Bruce's favorite player. I mean, he'll go the extreme to defend Ben Simmons. I mean, he's a clown. I mean, not Bruce. I mean, Ben Simmons is a clown. In 20, we lost to the Celtics in 7 games. The Sixers should have won that series. They were up 3-2. And they blew a 3-2 lead. Morris held it down for the Clippers when Paul George and Kawhi Leonard was out. He did, but they end up losing in the play-in. They missed the playoffs that year, so yeah. I mean, Marcus Morris is solid, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think he fits the Sixer team. I mean, he can shoot the ball, but defensively, getting rebounds, yeah, he's terrible. A proven veteran and can still give you solid. Stop it. Stop it. Can't give you no solid defense, bro. Morris can help mentor McKinney. Oh, I mean, if Morris is on this team, all that TikTok dances and all that shit, he probably don't do that. But yeah, Pagan says yeah. Bruce, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't say that. I ain't gonna say that. Also, that was the year that Embiid won MVP. Yeah, in 2023, Embiid won MVP, and they end up losing in the second round. Yeah, Tone live. Yeah, I wish I could. I wish I could hop on, but yeah, I got to go take care of something real quick. So yeah, exactly, Brian. He's washed. He's washed. And bro, get out your feelings, Tuna Sports. Get out your feelings, bro. He's washed. He is washed. But yeah, that's all I got. I was gonna drop the link, but yeah, I gotta go I gotta go take care of something real quick. So I appreciate everybody that stopped by. I appreciate everybody that pulled up. Shout out to Zay, shout out to Gracie. Appreciate you for being here. Shout out to Pagan. Shout out to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Shout out to BJ and Rick. Appreciate you for being here, BJ. He says that's a big move. Yeah, I talked about it on Wednesday night, and it kind of seems like the 76ers, the front office, they've been listening to me. I mean, everything, all of my suggestions, they're doing it. Hopefully they bring in Tyus Jones. I'll take Shamit back as a shooter. I mean, what team? I think he's on the Washington Wizards right now. Yeah, I think he's on the Washington Wizards right now. Yeah, the 76ers could definitely win. But yeah, I appreciate each and everyone that tuned in. Again, this is DFJ Hoops, Andre as your host. Shout out to Tuna Sports. Shout out to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Shout out to Cottage. Shout out to Brian, Prophet One, Gracie, Zay, Derillis, Bruce. Appreciate each and every person that tuned in into this live. This was another episode on DFJ Hoops. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hey, be sure to be safe out there, y'all. I heard something terrible happened on the 4th of July in Philly. It was very, very terrible. My condolences to the families that lost their loved ones. But be safe out there, y'all. It's hot. Make sure you're fully hydrated. If you're going out, make sure you wear some sunscreen and be safe out there. On to the next time. Peace.